Hey guys, so I wanted to come on here and just give kind of an explanation. I hate to say that because I don't need to explain myself to anyone, but I know that there's a lot of confusion. So if you haven't yet heard, I have a very big announcement. This announcement is this year I am turning 25 on the 25th in 2025. Do you know what that means? It means that I'm celebrating my triple golden birthday, also known as a crown birthday. And I'm celebrating this very special birthday with a drumroll, please. Maybe you'll take a seat for this just in case that it really hits you hard and you pass out or something. I'll give you a minute to take a seat before I announced this, if you haven't already heard. Okay, so I'm celebrating my 25th birthday this year, my golden birthday, crown birthday, with a wedding-themed birthday party. Yeah, and I know everyone's like, that doesn't even make sense, but I don't care if it makes sense or not. Literally last night, I just had a homecoming-themed housewarming party. And I was told, like, how can you have a homecoming theme when themes for homecoming are different? Like, the homecoming itself isn't really a theme. I made it work. Everyone showed up. Everyone looked fantastic. It was amazing. So this is how I roll. I come up with things that maybe it doesn't make sense to anyone else, but it's fine. And it's funny because I was trying to look up, all these ideas on how I could go about it because it's very hard to navigate this idea, believe it or not. And there's nothing on it. I can't find anything even remotely like this idea, which is cool because I'm like, cool, I get to, be like the pioneer on this frontier and literally found this myself. I get to be the founder of a wedding-themed birthday party idea. But I'm also like, but maybe there's a reason this hasn't been done in 2025 years. Maybe there's a reason why this never existed. Like, because it just doesn't make sense and it shouldn't be tried to have made sense because it just doesn't. You know what? We have worse things going on in 2025 that don't make sense than a wedding-themed birthday party, okay? My wedding-themed birthday party should be the least of anyone's concerns in 2025. If it doesn't make sense, so what? You're just not meant to understand my sense of humor and style and themery, okay? So all that said, while I'm happily in a relationship with an amazing partner, believe it or not, because I did come up with this idea when I was very single, I shared this long-lived idea with him on one of our first dates. And his response was that I was the most fascinating most fascinating woman he had ever met, which to this day is like one of the highest compliments I've ever received. So that's why I'm sharing that. Anyway, so with his blessing, though, I am using this celebration to combine my entertainment, my entrepreneurship, and my personal blasphemy against societal norms. Okay, I want to debunk a few criticisms. Okay, I've heard that by doing this, it's like blasphemy to God, and I'm just like, I literally do not see it. I mean, honestly, coming out and saying all this, the invite, the explanation, like all of it, and even like the fact that I'm doing this and gonna have to explain it to everyone, it's honestly like the most bold I think I've ever been about my religion in my entire life. So I'm like, I think that like I'm literally telling more people like the good news, if you will, by doing this than I ever have without doing this. So I don't see how that's blasphemy. And also, I feel like I'm literally bringing my own opinion of the truth to light by doing this. I feel like the way that people approach this, the way that society approaches exactly everything that I explained about is more blasphemous than bringing this to light. I don't get it. I don't get it. I really don't. Another thing is that I'm obviously like going to such a great extent to have this wedding, but at the same time I'm making fun of the fact that people go to such an extent to have a wedding. And yeah, I mean, that's kind of the point. That's the point of the blasphemy, right? That's how it works. I will humbly say, though, that it does bother me a little bit that I'm doing this at all, because I pride myself on being somebody who is, like, off the grid, more like alt, if you will. Not really emo, but just alt, like, more like on the rebellious side. Like, my career is very not conservative, I guess you could say. It's very, like, very out there, very, very modern, very just not what you see daily, really anywhere. And I pride myself on that fact that it's like more on the rebellious side, more like, edgy. And I don't like the fact that I'm like, and let's just include the most traditional thing in history into my birthday party. Also, these people don't usually even believe in God, so why would you get married under God? If you're gonna be identifying as whatever you want to identify as, you gotta stay consistent. You gotta stay consistent. It's like people that go trans and they're like, one day I want to identify as this, and the next day I want to be that, and I'm going to flip out on you if you get my pronouns wrong. But it's like, how are we supposed to know what you're going to be each day? Like, and it's like, let's do something so traditional and so, like, that's been around forever, and let's do a wedding. Like, what? But that's why it's a wedding-themed birthday party, because I'm like, let's not do an actual wedding. Let's do a wedding-themed birthday party, because, like I said, it's never been done before. But this is what drives me insane about people who are very, like, who identify as alt and emo and this and that and yada yada, whatever the words are these days. But then they do the most traditional thing ever and get married. Like, I don't get it. Like, and especially because these people, they claim they're rebellious, right? They're like, oh, rebel, rebellious. The rebellious don't subscribe to the law, let alone make a contract with the government, but okay. So to me, and I had to shorten this tremendously. I've done a lot of videos before on more so just to get it off my chest than anything, honestly. They're like very long, like anywhere from I think 45 minutes to like 4 hours long, talking about my opinion on why love is so misunderstood. The idea of love is so misunderstood and just blown out of proportion and in the wrong context on like every level. And anyway, I had to sum it up the best I could just to get my point across. If it doesn't make sense, I have another 4 hours worth of material I can try to use to make sense of it to you. But again, if you don't understand it, maybe you're just not meant to. Like maybe this just isn't your theme, and that's fine. It's fine. Not everything that I make is supposed to resonate with everyone. Not everything I do has to resonate with everyone, and not anything that I do should have to be verified by anyone, right? So anyway, the sum of what I was trying to get at in my 4 hours worth of material is that love isn't about finding the perfect partner or crafting a fairy tale ending. It's about wholeness. In faith, we are reminded that true love and, quote, happily ever after were fulfilled when Jesus declared Kala on the cross. Kala means both bride and completed. True wholeness is found when we meet Him at the altar. And no greater value, if you will, even exists than free faith in Christ. I know a lot of people will argue this, but again, this is my opinion. Take it or leave it. And yet, people ignorantly spend more on weddings than on almost anything else in their lives. They spend months, even years, obsessing over napkin rings and diamond cuts, and they bury their personal dreams to fit into a dress for one day. All to be deemed worthy of the label bride, a label that has already been given to us through acceptance. Society feeds us the fantasy of love through a narrative where a character is rescued by someone or something they supposedly need in order to feel complete. And this creates a dependency on external provision for wholeness. If you don't know, I have my own business. I've read obviously lots of business books. I have lots of business knowledge. I have personally learned firsthand. This is true. This is I understand that if this is not how your brain just automatically thinks as a normal person, but this is fact. And this framework dominates storytelling. It's the backbone of marketing strategies, product sales, and societal pressure to formalize relationships with a third-party government. Formalize relationship contracts, if I didn't say that, with a third-party government. Join me in Alaska Alaska, you say? Yeah, I know. It was going to be in Hawaii, but then I moved it to Alaska because, hear me out, I'm doing a glacial, why is that such a weird word to say? Helicopter tour to land myself on the biggest rock that one could, biggest and brightest, rock that one could flash, if you know what I mean. I completely understand if this event isn't within reasonable means. Gifts, aka cash, to fund my self-indulgence are always appreciated. It is so easy to lose sight of what makes us unique. And when we take the time to celebrate ourselves, we step into the spotlight that we've always deserved. I will talk to you guys in the next episode. Go out there and make waves. Mwah.